Hey, Red Pill Mormon here again. So, I listen to a wide range of different podcasts that I find very interesting. Um, and on one of these podcasts, I'm listening to a rabbi teach some really interesting things about the Torah and the Kabbalah, and he talked about biophotons, which I guess they made discoveries about with um, like the the human body actually emits its own light. So I listened to what Chat GPT said about that, and it said that yes, humans do emit light, but it's about 1,000 times dimmer than what the eye can see. So this whole idea about auras is it's true. That's pretty interesting. Um, there is actually scientific uh, evidence for it now. So something that the sages and the mystics have known for centuries is now being confirmed by scientific evidence because we have instruments that are more refined to be able to detect these things. Anyway, so um, I did a little screen recording of this guy, and I'm gonna let you guys listen to it, and then I'll post his. Hold on. I'll post his channel if you want to go listen to him, um, where he talks about these things in the description. So, all right, well, I just, I learn, and I don't know everything, but I do enjoy learning, and hopefully you do too. And yeah, tell me what you think. This is pretty interesting information. I just was introduced to this today, and yeah, this is really interesting stuff. So, and the other thing too, like as we refine our instruments so that they can pick up more detail, what else are we going to find out? It's always fun to figure it out. It's always fun to hear what new discoveries are being made uh, in the scientific world. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Here's the video.
Hida appears in Tehillim. So that's the most hidden, like the fifth, the highest, the divine umbilical cord that connects you to Hashem. Interestingly enough, we've said this before, but nefesh is as the Torah says, is in your blood. Adam or nefesh badamhu. Ruach is associated with your vital organs. Neshama is associated with your brain. Chaya is associated with your aura. And what's amazing is, I don't know if you've been heard some of the science headlines in the last couple of weeks, but there's been all this talk of biophotons, that scientists have now discovered what they're calling biophotons, that your body, your skin actually literally, physically emits photons of light. You actually are glowing. We actually now have scientific evidence that you are glowing, that your skin, not just your skin, even your organs, they found even the brain is emitting biophotons. So what our sages have said, what the mystics have said for centuries, for millennia, that you have an aura, that your body is literally giving off light. Now we see it scientifically that you are giving off, yes, you are. We've discovered what they're calling biophotons. We've essentially discovered the aura looks like. It's important, this biophotons thing is really important because it just reaffirms what I've been saying for many years. We talked about it in the class on the four who entered Pardes, that the difference between heaven and earth, between physical and spiritual, is very minimal. It's just a matter of perception. we've been taught to think of like there's physical and then there's spiritual. And these are two totally different things that have nothing to do with each other. Like two different realms. No. It's just a matter of perception, essentially. Right? It's about how sensitive our instruments are. Before we couldn't detect the aura. Now we can. Now we have scientific proof for it. It's just a measure of having finer and finer instruments, which is what like all of like quantum physics in the last 100 years has uncovered all these spiritual things that our sages have been saying for millennia. We just didn't have the tools to discover them scientifically until now. It's just a matter of better and better, more fine instruments. And now we're discovering all these spiritual things. We have scientific explanations for the soul and for the afterlife, and that your brain can be a quantum computer. I spoke about this before, and can store information perhaps in quantum information in the fabric of space-time. There's all these amazing scientific theories today with evidence supporting them. Amazing, right? And today we have all this, the observer effect and wave-particle duality. Things that were always mystical and Kabbalistic are now scientific truths. And it's only because we have the instruments to detect them. So the gap between physical and spiritual is disappearing. And that's what Shimon ben Zoma said when he came back from heaven. Arba shenichnasu bepardes. I spoke about it then, a couple of years ago. Maybe it was more than that already. That he was, when he came back and he was asked, how are you doing? He said, the distance between heaven and earth is like a few finger breadths, right? It's like heaven and earth is both, it's here. It's like it's just a matter of perception. Spiritual and physical, it's just a matter of perception. And that also relates to our last class, because a lot of people couldn't handle what we were talking about. Like, no way. It's not, how can you say that the divine chariot has any kind of physicality? Well, what is that? What is physicality and what is spirituality? Can we define these terms? Is there really much of a difference? It could very, very well be just a matter of perception.